You wake up in a pitch-black room and immediately feel a weight on your chest. As your vision clears, you realize your cat is sitting inches from your face, perfectly still, locking eyes with you. This behavior is rooted in biology. Cats are crepuscular, a term describing animals that are most active during the low light hours of dawn and dusk. While you are in the middle of a sleep cycle, your cat's internal clock is signaling peak alertness. This midnight staring isn't an act of aggression, it's a response to unmet needs, like acute boredom or the sight of an empty food bowl. Humans are diurnal, meaning we are biologically programmed for the opposite schedule. This physiological mismatch creates an immediate disconnect, leading us to interpret a cat's nocturnal energy as a disruption rather than a biological requirement. This midnight tension is the starting point for a wider gap in understanding. Because their active hours don't align, the relationship begins with a series of misinterpreted signals. That silent staring doesn't stop when the sun comes up. It stands in sharp contrast to the way dogs communicate, using obvious tail wags and highly mobile eyebrows to broadcast their intentions. Humans often project our own social expectations onto this feline silence. When a cat sits across a room and watches without moving, we tend to label the behavior as arrogant or antisocial. But the silence is deceptive. Cats are not ignoring us. They're using a complex, nonverbal language that doesn't rely on the loud physical cues we are trained to expect from other pets. This data breaks feline communication into three pillars: vocalization, body language, and facial expressions. The dominant blue bar, vocalization, is used almost exclusively for us. In the wild, cats rarely meow. They develop this sound to communicate with humans. Each sound has a specific function. For instance, a hiss serves as a clear, unmistakable acoustic warning for you to stay back, while a purr operates at a frequency between 25 and 150 Hz, which can actually aid in bone density and tissue repair. Beyond sound, the tail acts as a primary mood indicator. A tail held high signals confidence, while a puffed, bristled tail is a clear indication of a sudden surge of fear. Ear position provides the next layer of data. Ears pointing forward indicate relaxation, but when they rotate and flatten tightly against the skull, the cat has completely shifted into a highly defensive posture. Understanding a cat requires looking past individual movements. A true interpretation only happens when you synthesize all of these silent physical signals at once. The eyes are the most precise indicator of a cat's state, relying heavily on pupil dilation. Large pupils paired with relaxed forward-facing ears show trust and readiness to play. However, those same dilated pupils paired with flattened ears indicate intense fear. Then there is the affectionate stare, characterized by almond-shaped, slightly squinted eyes, signaling that the cat feels safe enough to partially close their vision in your presence. We have to be careful with the blank stare, particularly in older felines. A vacant, unblinking gaze can be a sign of cognitive dysfunction or hidden physical pain. This vacant look is an evolutionary survival trait. In the wild, a cat in pain will freeze rather than cry out, alerting predators to vulnerability. The feline eye functions as a precise emotional barometer. Misreading these subtle changes means we might overlook a medical crisis or miss genuine trust. Research has shown that humans aren't limited to just observing these signals. We can actually use this silent language to communicate back. This is done through the slow blink. You narrow your eyes and blink very deliberately while looking at your cat, mimicking the same relaxed squint they use to show affection. This gesture triggers a physiological response in the cat. It signals non-aggression, lowering their defensive instincts and making them significantly more likely to approach you. The most striking result of the study is the reciprocity. If you initiate a slow blink, cats often process the signal and return the same deliberate movement. This shared eye movement functions as a bridge between two very different species. It is a simple, non-verbal handshake that establishes a mutual sense of safety. These observations challenge the long-standing belief that cats are purely independent, solitary hunters that don't value social interaction. The science suggests otherwise. Roughly 13% of domestic cats exhibit signs of separation anxiety, showing visible distress when they are temporarily removed from their owners. Cats form what researchers call secure attachments. They use human presence as a biological anchor for safety, experiencing a measurable decrease in stress when their owner is near. After thousands of years living together, cats have established a unique dialogue. Our responsibility is simply to acknowledge the signals they are already sending.